What's up guys, Kayla here, welcome back to another game on the Gwenology account. This time we are up against Viego. Runes should be on screen now, and I wanted to get a jungle vid out for you guys because I've been getting a lot of requests for it. And it timed up pretty nicely because I just finished my first round of coaching a Gwen jungle player, and they were able to hit plat for the first time, so congrats on Griffey for that. Right here, we're just going to hit the blast cone standard full clear. Reason being is we were able to spot Jinx a little bit earlier before minions touched, and we saw that she had a call, as well as the enemy Jax running Ignite this game. So that tells me that Jax is going to play aggro, Jinx is going to play passive. So I want to impact the lane that will get shut down the hardest by an early gank, and that's going to be Jax, because if we can either force a flash or a reset on the Jax, that will put him massively behind due to him not having teleport to save his wave states. As well as, if we can just make this top lane go 0-0-0, Gragas is just going to throughout the game outvalue Jax due to him being able to play side lanes freely with TP advantage, where Jax will have to hard commit to the play. Right there, you saw I'm going to try to pull Wolves as far as I can to the center of the wave, or lane. Force that Q, massive burst damage. And just like that, 2 Qs, Raptors are gone. One thing I should be doing here a lot more is panning my camera. We know that we want to impact top lane. We need to get as much information as we can, and the minimap only provides so much. When 2 portraits are there, I can see my laner's health bar, but I can't see the enemy's health bar or the lane states. As you guys see right here, like all the minions are covered by the 2 portraits. And it's just very hard to see what's happening. So if I could give you guys one tip for playing jungle, always pan your cameras when you have downtime, like you spend all your cooldowns or you're walking to the next camp. Anyways, right here, Gragas is doing a very obvious bait. It somehow ends up working. Jax counter-strikes and Q's back in. We get the flash, which is absolutely huge. And then I clear the ward here, which provides even more pressure. I could be sitting in that pixel bush for that entire time, so Jax has to respect that. I go for Scuttle here, egoing it. I know Viego could be there. I actually know that he should be there, right? Because I had a good idea since Brandon Jinx showed up late that he also started bot side, worked his way back top. But this game, we're going to end up going Nashor's Tooth. The reason being is because next patch, First Strike is getting a rework to where the initial proc is getting a 3 times gold buff, but the gold generation, so like when you full combo someone, is getting cut by 50% just about. And that is a massive nerf to at least my playstyle of playing for gold generation, accelerating my items, and going for massive ult plays. So I'm going to start probably going Nashor's next patch. If you guys have any suggestions on what I should test out, feel free to comment down below. I read all my comments. I don't reply to them all, but I do read them all. Right here, I see a very easy gank. Brand's overextending, the Jinx throws her traps. I'm gonna go on the Jinx here, she ghosts away. At that point, she's just gone. I see Jinx running as well. I'm willing to give up on this chase, but I see Ashe flash, and that makes me commit harder. And then she goes into the pit for some reason, which then forces the flash. I feel like she could have just ran upriver. There, I trust my Xayah and Ashe to pick up the Viego kill. They unfortunately cannot, which means that I cannot get this dragon, and my bot laners unfortunately die. So that means no dragon, no bot lane advantage. We're just going to reset, buy a sad glowing moat, and work our way back to our camps. But yeah, the rune changes are very, very interesting. I kind of want to make my own separate video talking about every single change, but the ones that matter to me are First Strike getting the gold generation nerfed, but the initial proc being tripled. And then sudden impact working more like a cheap shot now, where instead of magic pen, it just will provide true damage on your next hit. Jax goes for a dive here. I don't even think I was needed for this, but we pick up the kill regardless. We see Viego pathing towards the Void Grubs. That immediately tells me that I need to take a resource from Viego. This time it's going to be the Dragon. If Dragon were down and this red buff was 10 seconds faster, I would be pivoting over to the red. But an eye for an eye, Grubs for Dragon. I think that's a very, very fair trade. And my team should be pretty happy about that. Mountain's pretty strong as a one-off Drake. Right there, Viego finishes up the Grubs. He can't get to me in time for the Dragon contest. As well as Mal's holding the wave just a little bit. Right as I say that, actually, he gets massively pushed into his tower. No mana, no nothing mid. Mid was very interesting. I did not expect to see a COG mid lane in 2024. Right here, just clearing our camps, trying to get level 6. We're very behind level-wise this game. Right here, just blue to Grump. I'm watching mid to see if I can do anything. Like I said, checking the HP of the enemy health bars, but nothing can really be done. I saw Viego right there. And remember what I said, like, you have to take something for the enemy jungle's place. So since he ganked top, that tells me, okay, I go take his red. And then I check him again just to see if he has my red. He does not, thankfully. Gragas is pinging for assistance, but unfortunately, I'm on the other side of the map. It's annoying as a top laner, I know from personal experience, but I cannot get there, unfortunately. I'm just going to take what I can for the time Viego spent up there. I'm painting my camera bot. There's a potential dive angle to be had here. Zai does a pretty good combo there with Alt Flash, E. And then right here, just Jinx is dead 10 out of 10 times. She has no flash, just used her Ghost to try to go for the Ashe kill. If she ran away, she was completely fine, but she did not know I was there until it was too late. Alright, and then right here, just buying Nashor's components. I start working my way towards my topside camps. Right here, I'm trying to see how much I need exactly. It's about 200 gold until Nashor's can be purchased. I end up finding out that Viego looped back around into my jungle and took my red, unfortunately. I also assume that Raptors are gone because of right where Viego was just seen. He hit my Scrying Orb, and he used his E on that little wall there in the mid lane. So that tells me, okay, my Raptors are gone too. I start pathing to Wolves. I check them just in case, obviously, because they're on the way. Thankfully, they're still up. We see Viego bot side river. I see Kog'Maw here. If he doesn't have flash, this is a kill. He unfortunately does have it. But with that, we see Viego on his side. There's nothing he can take right now, so I'm just going to cycle my 2 camps and get the Nashor's Tooth. I'm trying to get this Nashor's before the next Void Grubs spawn so that I can just try to one-shot them. Ping Mia there just in case Viego shows up. He thankfully does. That tells me I have all the time in the world to go do these grubs now. Right now, Zaya's 5-1, playing pretty solidly. Enemy Kog'Maw chilling with a 150 bounty with just a 1 kill. Right here, I get spotted on a ward. I remember seeing Viego bot, so I'm still not worried about him. And that makes me think, okay, these are free. And I just kind of forget the top laner exists. I end up miss-smiting them as well. I Mia-ping myself for that, and we unfortunately die. Very, very tragic death there. 100% avoidable. I also could have gotten the grub as well, but we played that as poorly as possible. And Jax is going to finish those grubs all by himself. And that tells me, okay, we can only play for dragons now. Because Void Grubs are gone, Rift Herald really isn't anything too crazy to play for. I see my bot lane resetting. I tell them, wait, no, we need to be here for the dragon. That immediately makes me have to concede the dragon to Viego. And then if you look at the chat there in a second, I guess they were sitting on like 2,000 gold or something. So unfortunately, it's 1-1 Drake, 6 Void Grubs to 0, with the enemy having the lead in those. But our top laner is thriving, it looks like. Jax ended up dying up there. I end up trying to bait the Malzahar there, but Viego doesn't continue the chase. Kog'Maw gives up on the chase as well. We end up finding Viego in the bush here with Nashors, with all our spells landing for once. We're just able to one-shot him. Shadow Flame also kills there, and it would have chunked the Cog a bit more. But the damage isn't too much of a difference, right? Like, it's probably, like, within 100 damage or so. Fortunately, Gragas ends up dying top lane. I'm pinning my camera down to bot because I see my bot lane has very low HP bars. I start making my way there, and I think this is the perfect situation to bait this Viego and just absolutely set him behind. I ping the tower. I type bait. I see Xayah recalling. I'm like, no, please, Viego has no R. This is the freest kill ever. And my bot lane just doesn't want to do it. I could have gone for the tower in the wave there, but then I run the risk of Viego showing up, and since I don't have ultimate, he does win the 1v1. But yeah, even when I'm taking this blue, I'm like upset because I know that we could have just gotten guaranteed gold lead for our bot lane, even if Viego doesn't show up. It's annoying. You can't control your teammates. You can just play off them as best as you can. And if they end up playing bad, well, steal their resources, try to carry them. Viego ends up taking the Rift Herald here. I see Gragas is super low. That tells me I need to just instant recall. Gragas cancels his resets. Scared of the Jax dive. Ends up dying to the Rift charge, I believe. I want my mouse to hard shove this. He doesn't get the memo until a few seconds later. I just go check enemy camps to see if I can steal something for the Viego doing this. And then here, we end up going for a very simple tower dive. And this is another thing you need to do as a League player, and that is check enemy items. He had Seraph's Embrace. That means you cannot touch him. He literally just bought it on that reset. But with that, my Miles is really far behind. I'm even at best against this Viego. If not, he's ahead. Our bot lane is playing really well, but I just don't like how passive they are being, and that will take a complete 180 in a second here, as you guys will see what I mean. Right here, I'm just looking what to buy. I can go Sorks into going into debt for Large Rod. But here we see the Viego. I think this is a super good opportunity to get the Viego shut down. And for some reason, Xayah's auto-attacking minions and standing where she can just get flashed on and killed. End up getting Viego's, but unfortunately, we lose to the Jax. There is no universe where Xayah should ever stay there with a 1000 bounty, but it's solo queue. So she had no other place to be other than right where the enemy team could capitalize on it. I end up opting for Sork Shoes, Large Rod, and some Amp Tomes. Got my AP up to 200, but looking at this game state, it does not look good. We see enemy Jinx top, see Brand Jax bot. This is just a very dire situation. My entire jungle's warded. There's nothing really for me to do other than trying to go for this dragon, but I see my Ashe is dead. Xayah would be walking into Fog of War. Mal's can't really walk in either, so I just back ping. I just type no wards, no prio, we can't. Yeah, this game is very, very difficult from a jungler's perspective, from literally anyone's perspective. Xayah was the one that had all of our gold, and she unfortunately wanted to last hit a melee minion instead of walking a screen away from the Viego. Here I'm sitting top because I think to myself, okay, if Jinx is up here by herself, maybe the Viego comes and collects the resources from top. He does not, so that tells me maybe I can go find him in his own jungle. I don't find him, but I find his jungle camps. So with the Ashe, I take them. She wards up the enemy jungle pretty well. End up finding the Viego right there. Just hiding from him. I'm trying to have my Grags come help me. He ends up getting the tower. And this is just a very simple kill from us. That gives me my Shadow Flame. So I am 2 items at 19 minutes. Not the worst, definitely not the best though. I see Jinx use Chompers here, so I immediately cancel my recall and think to myself, if they just walk past me a little bit, it's a free kill. I see the Bram walking up to collect the next wave, which is what the Jinx should be doing. We just end up collecting the kill after whiffing 2 autos on her instead of hitting the melee minions. And then I think to myself, okay, where's Brand? He ends up getting away. So we just take our reset here. Shadow Flame for us. Ulti's up in 10. We can look for another play wherever we might find one. We see Viego looking for his topside camps, but we thankfully already took those from him. End up finding Jax on my wolves. Gragas just being the absolute Giga Chad that he is. Helping me out. Easy 800 in my pocket, and here is a complete blunder by me. I value the Gragas' life way more than I do, but if you look at the stats, I'm one with the bounty, so the Viego just sits in his shroud and gets the kill on me when I think that Gragas was more valuable because he's been playing well. And that was just a complete blunder by me. Just not understanding the situation and who Viego truly wanted to target. Right here, I'm looking to, or thinking to myself, do I want damage or safety? I just died a very pitiful death. So I'm like, okay, let's get the arm guard first. We can play for Zanya's play. Dragons in 127. I really, really want to get this one. I'll end up having my ghost up. I'll have ultimate. We will have everything we need to win this fight coming up. And then right here is what I'm talking about the TP play, or like lack of TP from Jax. It's like we saw Jax top lane. There's not even a tier 2 for him to get, so the fact that he's pushing tier 2 top really doesn't mean much. It's like, yeah, he can get the tower and the inhib, but we have Malzahar Gwen. We really don't care too much about a super minion wave. Especially since we have 2 teleports and the enemy only has 1. I end up finding a nice little flank here. Ashe lands a beautiful ultimate. We end up just completely one-shotting the Kog'Maw. I'm going to go for Viego here. He's going to leave. Gragas is going to TP to top to defend the inhibitor. And then right here, I'm pinging mid because someone needs to be farming this. Right? If we send one person mid, that makes the Jinx have to show up to mid first, and it denies a few minions as well as someone on my team getting 100 gold. No one does that, unfortunately. Jax is able to just walk up behind us for free, and we have to walk back from this Drake. Yeah, rule of thumb for literally anyone that's CS's, so literally anyone that's not the support player, always push neutral waves before plays. Hell, even if you're like, I don't know, a Brand or a Xerath, you can push neutral waves pretty efficiently as a support. But someone on your team needs to push neutrals. Gragas unfortunately whiffing his ultimate there. I see Jinx here. My thought process for all-inning her is my Zaya's dead, my Malza's dead, and we have no vision on Baron. They could theoretically just all-in this Baron, and I'm not confident that we could stop them since we just committed so much for the dragon and didn't get it. So if I get this Jinx kill, they won't have the DPS to kill the Baron since Kog'Maw is AP. Also, can we talk about Bork Jinx when we don't have a single tank on my team? It's crazy that this is Plat Elo, but it's like this is Plat Elo. All these years, and people still don't read items. Right here, I'm just kind of walking around aimlessly, trying to find someone in the river. Brand, Cog are sitting mid. We saw Viego, and then we see Jinx and Jax bot lane for some reason. Only one should be down there, not both. So there's no plays to be had. I'm just kind of sitting around twiddling my thumbs. I should be in the side lane long before like doing all of this walking around. Like I should have pushed this next wave and then been on to the next one or on my way out. Kog'Maw's going to TP down to this play in the river. Me and Viego are just going to chill top lane. Yeah, right here I'm hiding. And then I hit the Scrying Orb there so that Viego gets seen through his E, which allows me to land some needles. Get a full cash-in of 242 first strike gold. But unfortunately, he's going to just run away. We find the Jax. Izania's, unfortunately, I do not have the escape tools or the resistances to survive this Jax. But man, I'm gonna miss those massive first strike procs. They were so beautiful. I think my record is like 507 gold from one proc. Beautiful kill on the brands there. We commit a lot, unfortunately, for that one kill, though. But with how far behind we are, we got to take what we can get. Ash shooting Hawkshot to try to see if they're setting up Baron or just trying to bait us. We saw that the Jax was recalling, so they were just trying to bait us in. I just keep panning my camera, make sure that they're not starting it, since everyone was off map except the brand who's resetting from his death. Level 14, 3 items at 27 minutes. Like, we're not far behind, but we're not feeling good about how the enemies are stacked up. Except this Jinx. I still don't understand the Bork. We're going to end up one-shotting her. Brand's going to go for a flash ulti play. We see Jax and Viego coming up from the side. I see Jax going towards mid lane through that little choke point, so that tells me, okay, let's heal off these Raptors and look for a re-engage here. I end up baiting the Jax in with Zanya's, and my red buff, or not red buff, sorry. My red smite ends up finishing the kill, because it has like an energize effect and it will deal some bonus damage over the course of a few. Right there, I'm holding tab thinking, do I need Banshees? And I look at the enemy team comp, it's like, Brand has a very annoying set of AoE spells. Kog'Maw has a artillery ulti. More often than not, the Banshees is just going to fall off and not really have extraordinary value, so I end up opting into the decap next. We see Brand low, Viego half HP. I'm trying to see if we can have the Viego just walk right into us. He unfortunately does not. I'm using Red Trinket here to try to find Viego's silhouette so I can go for an ult play on him, but he's just going to walk back, concede this dragon. I try looking for Kog'Maw there, but he walks out of the bush down towards the red buff, and no one needs to talk about that smite from me. I end up doing 4-stack Q to smite, and it whiffs. Can you guys tell that I haven't played jungle consistently in the past month or so? Because I can. As shooting an ult, unfortunately not hitting. I have my ulti up again, so I'm just sitting here trying to find a play. I keep looking, it's like I need to stop this Jax, but I am the jungler. I can't go bot, someone else has to. Because if you see enemy jungler with smite bot lane, you immediately go Baron. Brand overextends slightly, we full combo him, get another 202 first strike gold. But with that, the game's looking a little bit brighter. I have 1500 gold in my inventory. I can get another large rod on my resets. My team starts pinging for the Baron. I really don't want to do this. My Ashe starts hitting it. I hit it for a Q stack. I see Kog'Maw here. I lose half my health bar, so I get really scared and nervous about this, but Ashe lands an ult into Viego. Or not, sorry, not Viego. Ashe ult into Malzahar ult. We see Viego mid. And I'm like, okay, screw it. We can burst this down fast enough. We see the Jinx, but as we saw from her build, she's not a threat to us. And we're able to pick up this Baron, pick up the Jinx kill, and now we're in an amazing game state. I immediately buy decap. I see Jax and Viego bot side. I tap my Ghost. And we just run down Viego. 600 gold in my pocket, another 115 gold off the first strike. And then I just came off a reset, so there's not really an important buy, so I just grab the wolves here. Yeah, this is why I love First Strike, by the way. It's like you can nickel and dime your way to a power spike so consistently with this setup that it's just so fun. It is a coin flip. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you miss one team fight or one set of needles with your ult or one full combo with on a first strike proc, it's like it's a very dire situation, but it's so fun to play like this. At this point, I'm just stealing enemy resources, trying to make sure that Viego has no way of coming back into this game after they made a few misplays here and there. We see Cog Viego bot, only Jax can be here. That tells me to try to go for a tower dive on him. I try throwing my last set on the Viego, but it's not going to land. Now, I could be helping my top side inhib there, but I think to myself, no, if we can just close out all three inhibitors, there's no way that the enemy team can come back. And at this point, the game is just over. There's nothing they can do. My team goes for playing TDM. I go for the objectives, which are the 2 towers. Zhonya's jump out to make sure they can't get me. And we just burst this down and end a game where I thought we had no chance of winning. This is why I love Gwen. Just the sheer comeback potential once you hit 3 items or so. But with that, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to leave you guys with the endgame stats here. And I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever. Peace out.
Just like the good old times. Sweet, simple, and out of control.